What's going on, folks? You just got a first look at the Far Cry 6 gameplay reveal, and now we have a very special stream for you. My name is Yusuf Begid, and I'm joined by our fellow host, Chastity Vicencio. Chastity, how you doing today?
Good. Happy Friday. That was great. That's so exciting. I cannot get over the Macarena gun. I'm sorry. I love it. I love it.
Oh, of course. We are going to talk about all of that, everything you just saw, because we are joined by Far Cry 6's narrative director, Navid Khavari. Navid, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Hi. I am still a bag of nerves, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm managing. I feel so happy it's finally out there.
I know. It's
I'm so proud of the
Seriously.
team. I'm so proud of the team.
Yeah, you've been working
right
on
now.
this for a while. Yeah. How's the team feeling today about this?
Everyone was super hype. I think they're just, you've been on something like this for so long. It's been, for me, it's been 5 years. For some of us, it's been 5 years. And to finally just be able to get a nice, solid taste of it out into the world, I couldn't be more proud of this team and what we've done to get here. It's been an amazing experience. Amazing experience.
Well, congratulations. We are very excited. And folks, if you're sticking around there over at twitch.tv/Ubisoft, we'll be streaming for about the next hour or so. And of course, if you're joining us on youtube.com/Ubisoft, we're happy to have you there as well. But basically, we're playing Far Cry 5 right now because, unfortunately, Far Cry 6 not out yet. But we got a release date, October 7th.
Yes.
So we are, of course, we will bring that to you as soon as we can. But in the meantime, Navid, you did some work on Far Cry 5 as well, right?
I did. I was the narrative director of the North region. So if fans out there remember that, it was the Whitetail Mountains. The narrative director of the game was obviously J.S. DeCant, and we had a wonderful lead writer, Andrew Holmes. And so I was there. We had a great shout out to our Toronto team who worked on the Whitetail Mountains. So I convinced you guys to start here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Get to see Cheeseburger. We get to see everyone.
Yeah,
It's
we are excited to see Cheeseburger again.
I'm having flashbacks. But yeah. It's been amazing, and honestly, what's super cool is the Toronto team. Our start goes all the way back to Far Cry 4. We did Shangri-La on Far Cry 4. We worked on some of the open world for Primal, and then we got a bigger share as well on Far Cry 5. And the brand team has been so supportive of us and trusting us, to take on Far Cry 6, and I think that's what I hope fans are going to really see and enjoy, is that we have that group of folks that have really worked from one Far Cry to the next, and so I think it's going to be special.
That's awesome. I didn't know.
That's really exciting.
I didn't know the team worked on Far Cry Primal. That's
Yeah, the Beastmaster hunts.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was
I mean,
Nice.
we're big fans of Far Cry Primal here, and our regular chat viewership is as well. That game gets a lot of love.
Awesome.
Oh, there's a helicopter. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Of course there is.
So yeah, we're in the Whitetail Mountains. This is Jacob's region. This is the northern region of Polk County, and it's a bit of a tougher region for sure.
Yes.
But
yes.
Fortunately, I have this.
All military all the time.
Yeah, I have this Lost on Mars pistol here that does some serious
Pretty
damage.
great. Like one shot.
Yeah,
This count as cheating. I don't know if this counts as cheating.
Yeah, wait, okay. Well, yeah, we'll
Guns from
Play it the way
space.
that you want.
I don't know. Yeah. Ultimate freedom.
Listen. When they start hurting Boomer, all rules go out the window.
That's
Exactly.
fair.
No one
That is
hurts
totally
Boomer.
fair.
No one hurts Boomer.
No one hurts Boomer, and I think folks are going to feel the same way about our little guy Chorizo.
Chorizo.
Right.
You got to see at the end.
So
You know the story with Chorizo is.
Please tell me. I want
Yeah.
everything. I want to know anything about Chorizo.
Honestly, it really I'll tell you, the concept team. There was a great concept artist that worked on him, and when they sent him out first of all, the name is perfect, but
yes,
literally,
Chorizo the wiener dog.
It's perfect. And then literally, I came in the next day, and everyone's wallpaper was chorizo. I'd never seen anything like it. The entire floor, it was all chorizo wallpapers, and initially he wasn't planned to be an amigo. That came a bit later, and yeah, we like to say kill him with kindness. That's Chorizo's role. So yeah,
I love it.
I'm still waiting for my Chorizo plushie, and yeah,
yes.
It's all.
I love that like we're about to go get like a bear, and like there's been pumas.
Not just any. Hey, this is cheeseburger.
Not just a bear.
No, yeah, you're right. This is not
the bear.
This is far from any bear, but
the one and only cheeseburger.
I love that we go from that to a wiener dog.
That's Far Cry.
Oh yeah,
right there.
I mean,
excuse
me. Chorizo is far from the only member though we have of the audience, right? We got to see someone else.
Just right. Yeah, we got to see Guapo, handsome Guapo. He and I've been loving seeing the gold tooth, the jacket. The Guapo has a whole backstory, and that I think folks are really gonna love. And it's just
Thanks for getting us the
it's especially on 5. It was kind of really when we started to truly understand the attachment you have to these pets, these fangs for hires, and now these amigos, that it just transcends everything. So when we were working on Guapo, I think you wanted a badass pet with a heart of gold. I think that's is that a bad pun? Got the gold. Sorry.
No,
heart and mouth of gold.
Mouth of gold, maybe.
Mouth of gold.
Didn't quite land it, which is great for a narrative. But,
I love it.
But yeah, Guapo is awesome.
I want to ask you, so like you went from writing on Far Cry 5 and now you're narrative director of Far Cry 6. What was that transition like for you personally?
I was super, I'm thankful every day because on Far Cry 5, I got a nice little window into the role, working really closely with Montreal on sort of what it entails. And I also was lucky enough to see, okay, where can we go with the story? What can we do here? And so coming on to Far Cry 6, I think the angle of really finding a personal story around Danny Rojas, who we've gone sort of all in on performance capture. We have amazing actors playing Danny, so Nisa Gundas and Sean Ray, who are bringing so much heart and soul to the characters, and starting from that idea of when does your revolution begin? What will cause you to pick up a gun and fight? What is that moment? And I think a lot of that, you find rooted in Far Cry 5 as well. Those are sort of the same questions, and we're just trying to push it, as far as we can, and having you embody Danny. So it was a big. At first, it was like, okay, this game is huge.
You had to take a moment.
Yeah, because it's like we're building a country here. How do you? But I think our team was just amazing. Shout out to the narrative team. I'm only as good as the narrative team that we have, both in Toronto, in Montreal. We have all the way to Berlin. So it was such a great creative atmosphere, and folks were really fearless to just get in and tell the best story we could. So it was a journey, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of learning along the way, but the team really carries you in that. Oh boy.
One of the things I wanted to ask about is oh no.
I thought you weren't allowed to die. I thought you were this. You were telling me you're the most amazing part? No, I'm kidding.
Listen, it's a whole different thing when you're trying to ask questions and play on stream, and
Of course,
the internet issues. No.
Oh man, did I just troll you a little? You're never gonna have it.
No, right. Trust me. Anyone who's a regular viewer of Ubisoft News Plays knows that you don't tune in for the pro plays.
Love it.
But one of the things I want to ask is you talked about the actors that portrayed Danny, and one of the things I'm most excited about for this one is that we get third-person cutscenes.
Yes,
a new thing for the series. What was that like?
Yeah. It was really exciting, and I think that was part of really trying to buckle down and tell this sort of blockbuster story, and it also came from the idea of the amount of customization you're going to be able to do in this game is immense. So, it was sort of a twofold thing. One is, you're going to have all this amazing gear, you're going to have all these amazing what we call resolver weaponry. So, these sort of DIY weapons. You want to be able to show that stuff off and see your loadout, right? But also, if you're inhabiting a role, right? If you're playing as this local Yara and Danny Rojas, to build that connection, you want to be able to see them, right? You want to see your characters. So, whether you're male or female, you're going to be able to see your Danny. Canonically, it's one Danny. It's one story, and that was incredibly important to us as well. And I think it's exciting because once we started employing that technique, it really felt natural. Like it really felt like a natural growth point in the brand. And the other thing that we're bringing as well is because we all love Giancarlo Esposito, we love Anton and Diego, played by the wonderful Anthony Gonzalez. We're also in Far Cry 6 going to have proper cutaways where you're not actually going to be in the room with them. One of our starting points was that what's it like to see things from Anton's perspective? Why is he doing the things that he's doing? So the only way you're going to be able to do that is to go third person, right? So it's this nice opportunity to sort of see how these Far Cry villains behave when the player isn't around, right? And that was really exciting for us. And again, it goes back to the team. We had an amazing, cinematics team that went all in on that, and bringing on is a newer skill set, right? It's a lot of technical considerations, but also when you go to, it's not just cutscenes, right? When you go to guerrilla camps in the game, which is also a new element that we've brought in, spots where you can sort of relax, take on some missions, maybe play some mini games and dominoes. You're gonna go you're gonna go third person as well. So you're gonna be able to see your loadout. You can be able to see your weapon, and chill out for a little while. So it's exciting. It really is gonna feel super fresh, I think.
Yeah, I like that because in Far Cry 5, you get to make your deputy, but they're a silent protagonist, and outside of a few moments, you don't really get to see them too much. I'm so excited to really get to know Danny and see them from in cutscenes and interacting with the world.
Yeah, and I think as well for us to tell a story in Yara, obviously our inspiration is based in Cuba, but to tell a story in the island of Yara, you really need to be from there, and you need to have a personal investment in the revolution. You want to hear their story. You want to hear, where they came from, what is motivating them. And with Danny, we're going to cover the gamut of emotions with that character. Danny's definitely going to be going through the ringer a little bit with Anton and Diego. And yeah, I think it's just important to get that personal connection to them, each step of the way. I was a decent fisherman in Far Cry 5. I am a terrible, terrible fisher in real life. So I would always have
games are for.
The same.
So But that's I still remember when we were working on this. Like whenever I needed a break or just to zen out, I would fish on the project. Yeah. So shout out to our designers and everyone who just literally is the most relaxing thing. So, and yes, definitely fishing is coming back. No question.
Ooh, there we go.
Can't be in Yara.
Nice.
I mean, it's
Can't
perfect
be
for
in
just
Yara.
sitting back
Not
here.
fish. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, this is chill. This is nice and relaxing. What a relaxing stream. Yeah, so let's talk about Yara for a bit. So like when you're finding a setting for this game, where'd you look for inspiration?
Well, I think the original, very original spark was what it means to be a guerrilla. And so when you're thinking about guerrilla revolution, the brain, we're all wired at this point, I think, to go to Cuba. And so when we started to really research into Cuba, the inspirations just kept flowing. And we were lucky enough to go down there and really explore and get to know folks down there, talk to actual guerrillas, get their experiences, their motivations, which were incredibly complex, but also get to talk to, everyday, Cubans and talk late into the night, about share stories. And once we, kind of left and came back, we realized we really wanted to do a bit of a love letter to the people we met down there and really honor their stories. And so I think it all kind of flowed from that. And then we started, when we were sort of looking at, okay, we're making this fictional island of Yara, we started exploring around the world. We started looking into history as to terms of revolutionary movements. And you find like common thematic language that's universal for all of them, What does it take for you to join a revolution? How far are you willing to go for it? What are you willing to sacrifice? Incredibly difficult questions that Danny is gonna have to face. So yeah, it was really just incredibly inspiring. Going on that process. I miss it in a way. That's really the dreamland.
That sounds like a good part of the job. Good.
Yeah, right.
The travel.
Oh man, it's so much fun. Yeah, it's so much fun, and it feels so different compared to what's happening right now, right? Being able to travel and now we're home. Yes. I'm sorry, Yusuf. I am distracting you, dude.
It's all. There's so many great facts I'm picking up here. So many great stories.
Learning so much.
I just can't. Having trouble focusing on the game. No, it's also because I have not leveled up much yet at all.
There it is. There's the real reason.
Yeah, you know what? It's because I don't have Boomer with me. That's the issue.
We need Boomer.
Oh,
we absolutely need Boomer.
Okay.
Oh,
we'll have
no.
him in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All right. Maybe
Who hurt him?
Maybe we can get Cheeseburger.
You be careful. You be careful. I can't believe you let Boomer get hurt. That's just unconscionable.
So sad. So sad.
This is why I need to bust out the Mars laser.
It's amazing you're just walking around with this Mars laser. I never thought to play it with that.
This is how we
oh man. This game's beautiful. I used to love just roaming around, going for drives, and that's something actually on 6. We were, it directly came from being inspired by, what we found on 5 and other Far Cry's is that you're going to be able to holster your weapon as well. You're going to be able to, drive around, take in the sights, coast, driving those, old school vintage Chevys is amazing. Our vehicle team did such a good job. Audio, listening to, and you listening to the radio stations, the audio team did such an amazing job. Like it feels like you're driving those cars, and so holstering was a big part of that, right? That you'll be able to take in the sights as you're scooting around.
Yeah, was that also like to offer players like a bit of a different way to go about things? Like we see on the trailer, Danny's like smuggling, trying to smuggle something in a truck and passes it off as Christmas trees.
Right. Yeah, it was. You know, that's the thing is, especially within a revolution, you're going to have a whole black market that builds up around that. So, you know, I think it's a part of it, and I think there's going to be so many activities and things that you're going to be able to dive into that I can't get into here. And this is the thing. I got to have that check. Gotta have that check.
Oh yeah.
You know,
we can't discuss too many.
Our marketing team's like, stop talking. Why are you still talking? What are you doing? Can't help it. Too excited.
Too excited, yeah. It's very exciting. We're excited too. Yeah. I do want to ask, how did you feel when Giancarlo Esposito signed on for the role?
That was insane. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're writing a character, you're working on a character, and you start to hear the voice of, you know, you do this all the time. You put in actors, imagine, oh, if we can get this person, that would be great, you know. And then Giancarlo's voice got a little louder and louder and louder, and then the question was, can we do this? Do you think? And you know, we flew down to New York. Oh God, I love this. I love this so much. This is one of my favorite moments. So cute. But yeah, we flew down to New York to meet with him, and it was amazing. He showed up so prepped, like more prepped than so many actors I've worked with. And that's how you know the actor's going to be just fantastic. Is he showed up so prepped? He had notes on the script. He had props. He had like he had like a fake cigar.
I love it.
If you remember the trailer, the grenade, he had like a ball to use as the grenade. Never asked for any of this. Like, we were just gonna look over the character, talk about the scripts. And he came in this beautiful suit with a fedora, like beautiful boots, and I was wearing like a hoodie. I was like, oh God, you really are as cool as I thought you'd be.
Oh, what a legend!
He really is. And we had it was a 4-hour meeting. It was a 4-hour discussion where we just talked. We talked about, you know, what it means for Anton to be a father. You know, he really wanted to hone in on that relationship, and I think it's something that we're super stoked by. We couldn't ask for a better collaborator, honestly. He gave so much of himself to the role, and I think as well the cast was he really kind of joined the family. They really were supportive of working with him, bringing him on, and yeah, it's, you know, I tried to get as much about the Mandalorian I could out of him.
I was thinking that in my head just now. I was like, I wonder if
we
he
could
asked
say
about the
it.
Mandalorian.
Completely failed.
Can't even say Star Wars. Yeah.
Didn't say a word. That sort of glazed over expression, like, please, you don't need to talk about. No. He was super sweet, but yeah, I think, you know, the performances that our fans are gonna see, that folks are gonna find. I think we had such a diverse, amazing cast that, and it speaks to the whole team, to be honest. But what I love about sort of playing through the game right now is you see the DNA of everyone you worked with is in there. You know, you see, you know, what actors brought. You see what the ideas LDs threw in, what artists threw in. Like Chorizo, you know, never in a million years would I have, you know, thought that's where Chorizo was going to end up. And, you know, that comes from the team. I'll just keep saying it. Like, it's just really special. It's a special time right now. And also shout out to our IT people, right? Like,
yes.
I'm going to say it. Non, if you're listening, man, Non is my go-to IT guy.
Personal shout out.
I mean, making games is hard enough. Making games from home is very difficult.
Oh my goodness. Like, they all deserve all the awards. Like, we have we have an amazing IT team that has, helped us get through this. And I had to say it, like honestly, it's beautiful.
Folks, I just want to point out a couple things. People in chat asking some questions, asking if why we're playing Far Cry 5. If you missed the Far Cry 6 reveal, so the Far Cry 6 reveal did happen. We're hanging out here playing Far Cry 5 with the Far Cry 6 narrative director, Navid Khavari here. And then if you missed out on the gameplay reveal and you want to check those out, you can go to youtube.com/Ubisoft. You will find all the videos there, and you can watch them, check them out on your own time. And then one other thing I really want to mention, I'm seeing some people too mentioning that they maybe haven't played a Far Cry in the past, or maybe haven't played Far Cry 5. And oh boy, is it a good time to pick one up, because Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, and Far Cry 5 are all on sale right now at the Ubisoft store for $3, $6, and $9. You can get Far Cry 3 for $3.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
That's
so
a
good.
deal.
So
that
good.
is a steal right there.
I've played them all 100 times, and I'm going to go do it right now.
Oh, I know.
Hang out with Boomer, it's worth it.
That's 3 games for wait, let me do my math in my head. $18?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
you know
lunch
what?
in San Francisco.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's lunch without tax.
Here we go. Yeah.
This is,
Lunch without tax.
Lunch.
Oh,
Flashbacks right
Seriously.
now. Seriously. I don't think we'll get to the trials. Shout out to Toronto team, the trials in the Whitetail Mountains. All the memories are coming back. Jacob.
So yeah, this is one of the things that happens
Jacob.
if as you're playing and sort of raising the resistance level in each region or in the Whitetail Mountains. Jacob will just send his hunting party after you and come capture you.
That's it. Yeah. A lot of love and time went into the trials, and it's interesting the ideas and things that you never thought would come to fruition. I remember talking to Misha, Realization Director, about this, and the initial notion was like, wait, you're gonna keep going through these trials over and over and over again and try and beat your time? And it was like, yep. And it's gonna be super hard.
Yeah,
it's great.
They get pretty tough, and I'm wondering too. I went up to this area a little bit early, maybe a little bit under level. Of course, you can go wherever you want, but
and Mark Pellegrino, shout out to him. He did such a good performance with Jacob. There was a second there where I thought you were going to tell him, this is Far Cry 6. Congratulations. Look, it's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was playing Far Cry 6, but we did get a release date, October 7th.
You did. And I'll tell you, that has been the single biggest challenges, and big shout out to the fans, like the patience, the Twitter mentions. I know people have been super hungry, but I think we want to get it right. We want to make sure it is what it needs to be, and I think I hope they love it. Let's see
How's
how
it been for you
here.
working from home?
It's been interesting. When it started, it's funny. I think it's like a writer thing. A part of me was like, "This is amazing. I get to write at home.
I can focus.
I can just focus on writing." And then you just miss the team so much. Like after a week or two, a month, and it's amazing how important just being in the same room with a whiteboard it is. But yeah, no, it's been tough, but it's also like shown, I think, just how strong this team is. Like we've all leaned on each other, to get through it, much like folks around the world are. And I think there was an element of care for each other that I think I've never seen before in my life. So it's a real privilege, I think, to be a part of it. And these are miracles, right? Like, you know, the fact that we can sit here and show off the hard work of our team in the midst of a pandemic, it's amazing. So yeah, I'm just thankful, and yeah, it's weird. I chose this time to, on a personal note, to start exercising, which is, it doesn't really make sense, but I was like, it's never a bad time, right?
He's right.
So I was like, I'm gonna start exercising now. So that was my own personal hurdle, but yeah.
I love it.
Oh, shout out to the Montreal team here, though. They Montreal and Toronto, we had such an awesome collaboration both on 5, and we've had a great collab on 6. Like, again, it's really been a dream. It's a dream playground.
Navid, I want to ask, because we got some looks at some of the Resolver weapons that are coming. We saw like a big minigun. There was a nail gun.
Macarena, CD.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I want to know what your favorite is.
Ooh, that is tough. I think my favorite is our is the Discos Locos, just because it's so charming. The Macarena.
Is that the CD player? Okay.
Yeah, like it's so fun. Like I don't want to give. You mean you saw it in the footage. There's that, and there's also the Supremo backpacks that are Resolver as well, and we call it a Guerrilla Resolver. So it's sort of this character, Juan Cortez, has taken this concept of, you know, making do with what you have, you know, trying to, you know, make something from nothing, and he's fashioned it into like creating chaos with anything you got. So the notion is like, you know, he's in the trenches, he's a guerrilla, he's got to pass the time, he's going to read comic books. So he's reading these comic books, and he's like, I can make some cool weapons that are going to make me feel like a superhero. So that's kind of where the notion of the Supremos, how it fits in there. And yeah, so there's the Exterminador, there's just so many. That's the thing, every time you trigger a Supremo, it's such a satisfying feeling. And I don't know what that says about me, that I am enjoying so much chaos and destruction, but it's one of the most satisfying feelings. It's the launch your Supremo. So.
Okay. Steve Botter in chat is bringing up a good point that I want to just throw out. I don't know if there's an answer. I doubt there is.
Here we go.
What type of ammo magazine is required for the Macarena CD launcher? Maybe maybe a Mag-O-Rena?
Oh no, I'm not going to answer that because of the pun. I think I don't think that.
No, the pun is the answer.
Every dev team I've been on, there's been, you know, 1 or 2 people that are the master of puns. So for us, it's our associate narrative director, Paul Dobson, who, it's just, I don't even know where he comes up with this stuff. And it's weird. It's a love-hate thing. Like, they say them, you hate it, but then you kind of love it and you want more. It's kind of masochistic that way, I guess. I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean. We have a lot of punny people on the Ubisoft comms team, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh god, that was good, but I also don't want to give you the satisfaction. Like,
yes.
I love a good pun. I can't resist. I love it.
Sorry, Eli. We're gonna go out.
Eli, you don't want to talk to Eli. Oh,
maybe I have to get out of here.
You might, yeah. I think you do, for sure.
Dutch speaks highly.
I mean, and this, you know, I remember when we were working on the Wolf's Den, you know, a lot of the ideas that percolated from that. You know, I'm really excited for the guerrilla camps that players are going to see, you know, in Far Cry 6, like these spots where you can sort of hang out and see guerrilla life, and also you've got things like you know, folks playing music as well, like hearing some of that that you know, beautiful music. That we've worked with a wide range of artists, and that you're gonna see. And man, I can't wait for that soundtrack to come out.
I know.
But yeah, I think the guerrilla camps are going to be a really fun addition. And there's also, I mean, just so folks know, we're going to have multiple guerrilla camps, and we're also going to have multiple towns. So, you know, in Far Cry 5, we had, you know, Falls End. So imagine there's like 3 Falls Ends in Yara that you're going to be able to explore and check out, that have their own unique, you know, identity and flavor, on top of having the capital city of Esperanza. So right out the gate, it was, what do you have when you're making a nation? You have a city, capital city, you got towns, you got mountains, you got all that stuff. So it's I'm Tangent City right now. So
No. This is why we
got me all hyped
we're loving
up.
it.
You got me hyped up from the reveal.
We're learning so much.
Well, I mean, that's another really cool thing, is that like Far Cry has always been a very rural like franchise. Like it's, you know, it's taking place mostly, you know, in woods and forests and things like that. Yep. And like going into like an actual urban environment with the capital city is like, oh, that's going to completely change things.
Yeah, and it's the idea there is, it's really, you know, like it is in most revolutions, you know, that's the seat of power, the Torre de Leon, where Anton's situated. You're going to see his sort of capital building from way out, and you know, it's the most, I'm very open about it, the most difficult part of the game is strongest forces are there, and you're sort of, the whole goal, right, of any revolution is to, you know, unite the people, unite the movements, unite the guerrillas to surround Esperanza and take Anton down. So it's the moment we started working on it, and you know, it just changes the feel, you know, even just seeing it as you're coming up to it, these imposing sort of structures. It feels super fresh for a Far Cry game, and I think it's kind of a natural kind of evolution of the brand in a lot of ways. Where I always say we're standing on the shoulders of giants, like, you know, going from Falls End to the city, you know. It felt natural, like it felt like the right place to go.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, and like, I don't know, the environments are always so great in Far Cry, and just like seeing something like Yara feels like nothing, you know, I've seen in the series before, and it just has me so excited.
Yeah, and as you're like going through the wilderness, I can throw out as well is we have. You know, we have these magots, we have these mountains, and mountain ranges and jungle, and you're going to have what we call guerrilla paths that are sort of spider webs that are spread out through the jungle, built by the guerrillas in the previous revolution in 1967. So you're going to be able to go through those, you know, find gear, you know, also like do ambushes and really feel like a guerrilla. And you know, when I'm playing the game, it always reminds me of when I was in Cuba and I was walking through the Sierra Maestra. And when you're in those mountains, you know, there's a group of 6 of us, and I take one step, and then suddenly everyone's disappeared. I'm like, where'd you go? What happened? I'm terrified. I'm alone. And then I turn the corner, and there they are. It's like, you know, it's so dense and thick. That it's so easy to get lost in it. And what was amazing in that, and what we've tried to capture in 6, is you understand that's how they won. They disappeared from this overwhelming force. You could have the biggest tanks, you can have the biggest air force, and if you can't see your target, what are you going to do? So it was, it's an amazing feeling in the game as well. Like that, I think the team has worked super. Shout out to our artists, you know, designers. They've really done an incredible job of giving you and the LDs, of course, giving you that guerrilla sort of feeling.
Yeah, that is really cool. I think one of the things that has me very intrigued, and I'm gonna mention this, and then I want to ask a question to both you, Chastity and Navid. So horses are rideable for the first time. In a Far Cry game, and I want to know everyone's reading. What's your reading and experience? Have you ridden a horse in real life? How do you feel about them?
Chastity, you go first because I've been talking.
I have. Yeah, no, I have. I enjoy it. I'm not an expert by any means, but whenever I get the chance to, like if I'm traveling somewhere or just happen to book some kind of horse riding expedition, like it's always like an easy trail and like someone's guiding me like in front of me, but I really do enjoy it, and I think it's great. I haven't done it in about 2 years, but I'd love to ride a horse again.
2 years isn't that long ago. That's
I don't consider
3 years.
Locked
Hold
down
on, I keep ignoring 2020. I keep ignoring 2020. It was 3 years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it right now, and I'm happy to say it. We have amazing vehicles in Far Cry 6. The horse is my #1 favorite way of getting around.
Yeah?
It feels so good. It feels so good. And yeah, I have done horse riding. I actually did it in Cuba. And
what a flex.
It was a little bit no. It was, but I'm going to unflex in a second. We were riding. I had no idea what I was doing. The only time I'd been I'm from a small town, but I was terrified of horses, so that's a whole other therapy session. But I think that when we were there, I'm riding it, I'm moving along, and for the bulk of the horse ride, I'm like, okay, this feels good, but I guess I keep hearing how great horse riding is. This feels pretty slow. And then the cowboy rides up next to me, and he's like, come on, go. And I was like, what? And then the horse took off.
Oh.
And and then it was an amazing feeling. I was like, I have been doing this wrong. Like you're supposed to sort of snap and it goes. I was like, I've been doing this wrong the entire time. And I don't know if you had this, Chastity, where your butt and the horse, you're not in sync.
Saddle, yeah.
Yeah, you're not in sync. So you're coming down as it goes up. It was painful.
That sounds painful. That does sound
But you don't have that in Far Cry 6. You can ride it safely
know.
from your couch.
I'm excited to ride horses in Far Cry 6 for sure.
Oh yeah. All these notes. We spent so much time on these. There's so many fun little stories. And one of the joys too, when you're finishing something like Far Cry 5, is seeing fans discover the little clues that we put in, Easter eggs. You're gonna get plenty of that.
Oh yeah.
And get plenty of that.
So the reason, Chastity's fairly new, Navid. This is the first stream we've done together.
Oh, wow.
Long time.
Oh, it's not the first one you guys have done though.
No, it's not the first. But,
okay.
Yeah.
With
I was
you.
like, oh, right.
But our longtime viewers may know this. This is somewhat of a recurring theme on Ubisoft News Plays, is that I tend to play a lot of the games that feature horses. Whether it be like Assassin's Creed. I did not mean to pull that parachute. But basically, this all boils down to the fact that I am quite intimidated by horses.
Really?
I think we are all a little bit too haphazard with, getting our fingers right near their mouths, feeding them carrots, very, things that look a lot like our fingers. Oh no, I'm tumbling. And so,
that's hilarious.
I love beautiful animals, gorgeous animals. I just don't think we, I don't think we respect and fear them enough. I think they deserve.
Is that from a sort of personal experience? Did you have a fight with a horse?
No. I don't even. I've never even touched a horse. But it's just they're just such powerful beasts.
They're kind of like dogs, though. It was amazing. I knew someone who owned a horse, and I didn't ride their horse, but I visited them at the ranch, and they like, hey, give him an apple, right? I was like, okay, and I held out the apple, and it was weird. All the grace and elegance and all that disappeared, and it just sort of clopped over like a dog and started mowing down on this apple. I'm like, you're not as terrifying at all that I thought you'd be.
See, I get
I
that.
think the tricky part is getting on and off.
I get that they're very friendly.
Sorry, Neon Flare in the chat said, I've worked with horses and they're gentle giants. So thank you for that confirmation.
Yes.
I believe that.
100%.
I have no doubt of that. I'm not. I would never argue the opposite. I just feel like, you know, if they get spooked and they kick you, you know, you're down for the count. You know.
Yes.
They got strong jaws. If they mistake
I think there's a horse ride together for us in the future.
You know what?
We'll ride out. Team horse ride. We'll ride out.
We'll go to Cuba, and we'll get some horses.
Cuba. Which is another way to say we will have co-op in Far Cry 6 for sure. You're going to be able to ride horses with your friends.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Great. Yeah, and you know it's funny because to this day, you know, and shout out to our animation team, like being able to pet the horse, pet Guapo, pet Chorizo, it's just so satisfying. Like, it's not real. I know it's not real, but like you forge that bond, right? And it's yeah. You know, when I was in Cuba, I rode a donkey down the mountain. Very different experience.
I bet.
Donkeys are very sweaty.
Yeah, how's that?
Donkeys are very sweaty.
They are, yeah. It was like I was going to have that like beautiful moment where I, you know, pet its neck, and then I lifted my hand. I was like, this is covered with sweat, and I don't know why.
Man. I mean, well, you got, all right, to be fair, if any of us were lugging up, you know, a grown person on our backs up a mountain,
I think that's fair.
I think we'd be a little sweaty too.
Totally fair. No judgment here. No judgment.
It's a good point. It's a good point. I saw someone asking about the release date in the chat. It's October 7th for Far Cry 6. So get excited. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask you a personal question, Navid? So how did you get into writing for games?
Oh, how much time do you have? Okay, so it's actually this is what I love about games, and what I love about our team as well is everyone you talk to on our team has a different story of how that's so personal and unique, and I find that's really unique to game dev. For me, my brother actually was an animator. He's an art director now, but he would always bring me along, even when I was like 12. You know, he would bring me along to these story meetings he was having, and I was writing terrible scripts for animated shows when I was like 15. And then eventually, you know, I sort of put it aside, studied history and poli-sci, but I was still writing. And then an opportunity came up with a small company. It's no longer around, unfortunately. Where I wrote for Motion Comics for a show called Lost Girl. So that was really interesting because it wasn't games, but it was interactive, and so it was like a baby step into the industry. But I wasn't even supposed to be a writer. I was supposed to be a musician. I don't know what happened along the way.
Yeah, what kind of musician? Hold on, we gotta pause for a second. Wait, what kind of musician are we talking about?
Oh, a singer-songwriter deal. I'm going to start plugging.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I mean, you were always a writer.
That's amazing.
That's it. And you know, it's one of those things where you never imagine where you'd end up, right? So, moved to Toronto to do music. Ended up joining a video game company, and there you go. And that's something, you know, my first sort of big AAA was Splinter Cell. Blacklist, then moved into Far Cry. I'm always thankful that I got a bit of exposure to how animated shows work, how, you know, some of these TV folks work, and one of the things we wanted to do on Far Cry 6 was kind of approach a writer's room mentality. Like, bring on a lot of writers from games, from TV, and sort of have a cohesive room where it's a safe space where everyone can pitch their story ideas. And hopefully the results speak for themselves. So it's, like I said, it's funny when I play the game now. I tell the team this all the time. It's like, I see you in this character. Oh, that's like you recognize little quirks and traits from your team. But yeah, that was my journey. It was a very winding one. Very winding one.
I think so many people have very winding ones. That's such a cool background. I had no idea. Any chance we
How
get
about you? How did you folks get into this?
Yusuf, you go first.
Oh, I mean, my story is probably just about as roundabout as yours. I studied architecture.
Oh wow!
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Oh no! There were hostages.
Uh-oh.
Navid's sabotaging me. That's what's happening.
I really am. I want to learn
everyone's
life story.
The interviewee has become the interviewer.
That's it. You see what I did there?
Yeah, no.
Turn it around.
Wow.
Yeah, no. It's another one of those
So
situations
cool.
of how much time do you have. But basically, I realized I didn't want to be an architect, and then I realized that there was a lot of crossover with games, at least in how you think about them and can write about them and even design them. And so I was I kind of started doing more writing about games, and then that eventually led me here.
Chastity, you're up now. You're up. How did you get in?
I also wanted to be a musician when I was younger,
Oh,
and
no
that didn't
way.
quite work out. Yeah, that didn't quite work out. Also a singer,
Been there.
songwriter, but yeah, been there. Yeah, there was no money, so like it wasn't gonna work out, and my family had very high expectations for me. But no, I ended up going into journalism, but.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, there's not a lot of money there either. But like, I liked writing. I liked just TV,
cool.
and I found that was a way to like break into production here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I went into TV news, did TV news for like 4 years, and then I wanted to focus on entertainment and things that I was just more passionate about, so games
That's
and
awesome.
TV and movies. And so then I I eventually went to IGN, then to GameSpot, and then now I'm here.
Wow.
After 4.5 years at GameSpot, yeah.
That's amazing.
But I'm happy to
Just
be
like
here. Yeah.
how we all end up where we are, and now we're on a live stream.
Right?
And now we're
If you'd
on
a-
live stream.
If you'd asked me when I was in a coffee shop playing an acoustic guitar to an audience of no one, like an empty coffee shop, that I would be here talking
there.
about Far Cry 6, in 15 years, I would have said that's not happening.
Wait, so I gotta ask, what are the chances we get an Easter egg, like maybe song on the radio?
Yeah, you're gonna write a song for the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not giving any of that away. I will. I definitely didn't do that. But we, the audio director and I did have. I can say we did have some fun in terms of lyrics for some things you'll find in Far Cry 6, and I'll leave it at that. And eagle-eyed fans and folks in particular who speak Spanish will hopefully catch it. So I gotta be careful. But yeah, and the music. This is the thing. Far Cry is such an amazing legacy of amazing audio. Like I was telling you before, Yusuf, I used to just leave the menu screen for Far Cry 5 going because I love the score. And on 6 we have Pedro Bronfman, who worked on Narcos, he worked on RoboCop, and it was awesome to see fans react to that last year as well. As like this sort of epic, sweeping score that you fit right in on a Netflix show, right? That he's brought is it's awesome, and it's just the beginning. Like there's the pieces. I don't know how he does it, but the pieces that he comes up with are just fantastic. So there's a great balance of score and also the diegetic, you know, radio stations and amazing licensed music that you're going to see that our audio team has put together. So.
Oh man,
that's exciting.
Heavy presence.
Yeah. Good
so yeah, if you're a music fan, buckle up because it's.
Yes. That's exciting. Mari510 in the chat said, "Love the gameplay trailer, guys. Good job." Yeah, it was great. And if you want to check it out, it's on YouTube right now. So go to youtube.com/Ubisoft. If you missed out on the latest Far Cry 6 gameplay reveal, please watch it. It's very good.
Okay, cheeseburger's fine. Don't worry.
Cheeseburger's good.
Happy one, son. Don't fear. Far Cry 6 will be having co-op.
Yes. A lot of people asking about
absolutely. Co-op. Entire campaign too. You'll be able to play the whole thing.
Ooh.
Play the whole thing in co-op.
We're gonna keep moving. We started some things here.
Hustle on there.
Okay, let's head over in the lumberyard area. Of course, folks, we do have to wrap up very soon. So if you do have any questions about Far Cry 5 or Far Cry 6, feel free to drop them in chat. We will do our best to get to them.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing is this is my 4th Far Cry, so I feel like you can ask me literally probably, and I'll find some repository of random information.
Right.
You, but
so I mean, this is one of the things that comes up a lot with Far Cry, and you know, obviously Giancarlo Esposito is portraying the latest villain here. But when it comes to villains, I'm not going to ask you your favorite. I'm not going to make you pick favorites.
No, don't do that.
No, certainly not.
My Twitter
rank them right now.
Crash.
But what was your were you was Voss your first experience? Like I don't believe you worked on 3, right? But like, did you?
No, I didn't work on 3. Voss was definitely my sort of my first sort of whoa, what a performance experience. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, Michael really set the Mando. Sorry, he really set the bar as to okay, all right, everybody, good luck. And so I think, you know, we saw what happened, right? Troy Baker did an amazing job. Greg Brick, you know, I was lucky enough to see, you know, get to meet him and see him work on Far Cry 5. And it's just been really cool to see, and I've seen it on Twitter as well. Like, they've been really supportive, I think, of Far Cry 6, and it's like I like to say Giancarlo's joining the family, like a mob boss. He's joining the family, so to speak.
That's it's kind of kind of this evil little mafia family now of villains.
It is
for real. Yeah. There's a related question on the chat from TL Josh. What is the #1 thing that goes into creating the signature style of the villain that Far Cry is well known for?
Fantastic question. And I have an answer, which is really not thinking of them as a villain at all. And it might sound odd, but you know, one of the things the team and I always talked about was that every character has a heartbeat. You just have to find it, right? Every person you meet has a heartbeat. Where is it, right? Because I think that's the secret sauce of what makes Far Cry villains stand out, which is if you were in a room with them, sat at the kitchen table, they're charming enough, smart enough to make you stop for a second and think, okay, maybe there's a point there, and that their motivations come from a very grounded and real place, right? You know, with Anton, this is someone who lost everything to a revolution when he was just a teenager. He watched his father executed. He, you know, went through this harrowing ordeal. So in Anton's eyes, he's just, hey, I'm course correcting here. I'm bringing the country back. And then also that personal motivation of I have a son who I want to be prosperous and be courageous, and I'm going to pass these lessons down to him to make him feel strong. None of that is a villain, right? If I shared that to you on a page, you'd be like, yeah, there's a lot of dads that would relate to that. So I think that's really it, or that was it for us when we were working on Anton.
Nice. A question here, you don't have to be specific, but Ashy3Classy is asking, any nods to old Far Cry games in the new one?
Yes. With a big
Keep an eye out for Easter eggs.
Yeah. That's what you're gonna get, I have a feeling.
Yeah. I will say there are some really good ones, and I'll leave it at that. So yes, definitely keep your eye out.
I love what you said about not thinking about them as a villain, though, because like I think like my favorite villains in fiction, like I think there's always a chance to like, or a perspective where you can look at it from their side and see the way in which they're the hero of their story.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Joseph Seed, that's a person that sees himself as, I'm having these visions. I am being told, the end of the world is coming. So he's acting a certain way, right? But yeah, it's one of those things that, the bar was set so high on these games, and we just we're hoping to meet it, and I think I'm super proud of the work that went into the announcement trailer we had last year, but also I think now what's such a nice fun relief is you get to see the other side of it. You get to see Danny, you get to see Juan, you get to see the answer to Anton, and there's a lot more of that to come.
Yeah, I don't even know if it necessarily occurred to me that this was the first time that we were really showing off Danny. Who I think is just such an interesting character, and like, again, the fact that so many of the cutscenes take place in third person, or that you get to see them in just a way that hasn't happened in Far Cry before. I think I'm already growing attached.
Once you play it and you see it, you kind of are like, oh, I didn't even realize, that I'm going into the third person. So it's an amazing feeling. And yeah, I can't wait for people to see more of folks to see more of Danny's journey. It's going to be fun. For sure.
Yeah, and if folks, if you missed the reveal of the Far Cry 6 gameplay, that is over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ubisoft. Here right now, we're hanging out playing Far Cry 5. This will probably be. I'm gonna try to liberate this outpost here, and then we'll probably.
You weren't feeling the stealth there. You weren't feeling.
No. Well, I took out the alarm. That's the most important thing.
Fair enough.
Now we're gonna,
is the bow your favorite weapon?
I'm a big fan of the bow.
You're one of those. Yeah.
Actually, so to be fair, Navid, Cheeseburger finished it off.
Oh, there you go.
Cheeseburger.
Thank you, Cheeseburger.
Good job.
So my real favorite thing in Far Cry 5 is the shovels.
Yes.
I was wondering where I thought you were going to throw out some shovels.
I was thinking about the shovel.
I just didn't have enough
shovel launcher action.
Oh, true. Yeah, the shovel launcher. I mean, that came post launch. But yeah, I used to just I used to do playthroughs where I would roll 9 shovels deep and see if I could liberate an outpost with nothing but shovels.
Wow.
And, did you do it?
Oh, tons. I even
amazing.
So unfortunately, there's a long lost video that unfortunately never saw the light of day. But I spent the better part of a day and a half, I would say, when Far Cry first came out, putting together a shovel trick shot video.
What?
In which I would like.
Oh, that's amazing.
I would do like.
Wow.
Oh, I don't have one, but like I would line it up kind of where I would like be on top of a building or a mountain or like really high up and just like throw the shovel and like have it come down and hit someone.
Shout out to our fans too, and just so they know, we watch that stuff. Like we are constantly when we're when we're working on this, like there's not a week that goes by. It's like, oh, check out what this fan did, you know, with the trick shots. And I remember on Primal it was the spear, you know. We love that stuff. We get inspired by it, and it's what makes Far Cry so great. Is like you put these ingredients out, and then it comes back to you in ways you never thought possible. So yeah, I can't wait to see more of those.
It's so
especially
cool.
with Guapo.
It's so fun.
Guapo.
Chorizo.
I cut you off. I got excited.
We got a request from Get My Rice who says, add the tequila song to the CD launcher.
Oh man, can you imagine?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Actually, yes. It's very easy to imagine.
I could imagine.
Yes, I can.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
It's a good note.
We are about to wrap up. Of course, we stream every Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time right here on twitch.tv/Ubisoft. Also, youtube.com/Ubisoft. Go ahead and give the channel a follow if you like that, because we often do giveaways, and it gives you a chance to win free stuff. Who doesn't like winning free stuff? But more importantly, we are about 2 weeks out, y'all, from Ubisoft Forward, June 12th, right here on this channel, wherever you're watching.
That's right.
It is going to go live. You're going to get to see more from Far Cry 6, more from a ton of other Ubisoft games that you don't want to miss out on at all. Whew! It's going to be good.
Subscribe, follow, don't miss
Do it.
Don't miss it.
Navid, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you want to leave the folks with before we sign off?
I mean, the first thing is I hope the fans loved it, but my number one thing I want to say is thank you to the team. You know, I'm here representing an amazing, amazing team that has worked so hard to get this in front of all of you. So big shout out to them. You know, we're just, I feel so privileged to be here to talk about their hard work. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Oh, of course. You are welcome anytime, Navid.
Thanks for joining us, Navid.
Yeah. Oh, all right. And yeah, folks, we are going to send you off in the way we always do now, where we're going to raid someone else. So we're going to send you off as always, you know, be kind, be courteous. Maybe drop them a follow if you're digging what they're doing. And have a great weekend, everyone. Take care.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Take care.